The world's first Giga dive coaster is coming to Six Flags Over Texas in 2026, standing a staggering 309 feet tall. Wow.
This is crazy.
That's freakishly huge. We're talking, to put that in perspective, that is 86 feet taller than Yukon Striker, which is currently the world's tallest B&M dive coaster.
Whoa, I don't even think I put that into perspective.
Yeah, the first Giga coaster in Texas. Previously, the tallest coaster in that park was Titan. This is 64 feet taller. So
that's wild.
Big ride.
Well, and this is also like in an area of Dallas where you can just see the park everywhere.
Yeah, it's very flat over there. So like typically when you're in over Texas, you're right in between Fort Worth and Dallas, so you can look and see the skylines around. So you just know the views at the top are gonna be crazy cool. This is gonna be like staggering to see, and it's gonna be a front gate coaster because you're gonna have it right next to the parking lot. If you've been to Six Flags Over Texas, you know this is going where Lava Bora stood. That attraction just closed last year. So this is just gonna have way more of a presence to it. I think it's gonna be a much more suitable addition than Lava Bora ever was.
Well, the thing with Lava Bora was like, I mean, it was like a novelty, I guess, but it was never like a particularly great coaster. I don't know, I felt like this park was like kind of due up for something that like, you know, add a little more zest, a little more pizzazz to the park.
Absolutely.
Because like it has like such a presence in the chain because it is the original Six Flags park. And I don't necessarily think it's always treated accordingly.
No.
I think that there's other parks in the chain that definitely get a lot more investment, and like to see them go so big, so bold. I mean, it's B&M. We all know B&Ms are not cheap. So like they're really going all in on this investment. And we're not gonna really go into it in this video, but they talked about like extensive amounts of different refurbishments they're doing all around the park. So very exciting stuff.
The attraction is called Tormenta Rampaging Run. It is going in the Spain section of Six Flags Over Texas, which is directly to the left, right when you walk in. The story that they're going with here is that the town of Rancho de la Tormenta is a fictional village known for its storms, tormentas, but that soon changed when the birth of a legendary bull named Tormenta grew to be feared and respected, and matadors would come from all over Spain to face him, but none could defeat him. And so, as guests, it is now our turn to challenge Tormenta.
You know, I think I'm just glad they didn't go with El Toro. There was like a small part of me, because like I know every once in a while they'll recycle names, and I was like, it can't be too El.
No.
I can't have it be like when I'm talking about how El Toro is like one of my favorite roller coasters. I'm like, which one? I'm like, that can't happen.
I was hoping they were gonna call it Matador.
That was what, well, okay, I'm wearing the shirt that they sent, and because
Hashtag
of the
drop
shirt,
the gate.
I thought for sure this was like, it was gonna be called Matador, but like this name's cool too.
It is cool. I don't feel like they needed the Rampaging Run part of the name. I think that Tormenta is enough. I don't know. I'm kind of over parks that are like name, colon, and then like excess stuff.
Big Bad Wolf, the Wolf's Revenge.
Yeah, like not a fan of that. Or like, I think it's okay when it's like Dr. Diabolical's cliffhanger, because that's like a character plus like their, you know, device. But this is just...
So what if it was Tormenta's Rampaging Run?
I guess Tormenta is a name, but like his Rampaging Run, I don't know. Like I think Tormenta's fine. We mentioned the record-breaking height. The drop is only 285 feet, which I thought was super interesting because, of course, naturally you have all the coaster people that are like, well, wait a minute, is it still a Giga? Yes, it's still a Giga. It's over 300 feet. But
taller than Orion.
I was looking at the animation. That implies that the bottom of the drop is 24 feet above the ground, which in the animation, it looks like it's right up against the ground. So I guess I'm a little confused of how it's 309 feet tall, makes a flat turn, and then the drop is 24 feet shorter when it looks like it goes all the way to the ground.
That's true Tormenta is trying to figure that out.
Well, yeah, right? Okay, so like, for instance, I mentioned that this is 86 feet taller than Yukon.
Crack myself up.
The drop is only 40 feet bigger than Yukon because Yukon has a drop that is bigger than its height because of the tunnel. This is only 30 feet bigger than Titan's drop. I feel like the drop would be 300 feet. I don't know. Maybe it's like from where they measure it at.
I don't know. I'm going to trust their info.
I mean, I'm not saying
I'm blindly
doubting
following
it. I guess, but...
But other stats that we got going on here, it's going to reach a maximum speed of 87 miles per hour, which is crazy to think about.
That is 2 miles per hour faster than Titan, so they have 2 attractions in that park that are going over 80.
But it's like a dive coaster going
exactly.
That's crazy.
You just know that bottom of the drop is going to be like crazy forceful. Like,
exactly.
A lot of positives there.
Yeah. And then we're going to have about 4,200 feet of track. These next two ones were interesting, though. It's going to have the tallest vertical loop, so that record is being reclaimed.
Right. So I believe the previous record was on the Mach Hyper Coasters, which is Hyper Coaster in Turkey and Flash at Lua Adventure. To put this in perspective, this loop is 15 feet bigger than Full Throttle's loop. So think about the size of that inversion. So this is gonna be huge.
It's gonna be a big girl. And it's also gonna have the highest Immelman at 218 feet.
Massive.
Also huge.
Yeah.
That's pretty darn cool.
That's like the height of Mr. Freeze. Like, this is an Immelman. That's crazy.
This is gonna have 2 drops, so it's gonna be more like a la like Dr. Diabolical rather than like Wrath of Rakshasa.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna pause halfway through, and we're looking at 5 inversions. And here's the one that blows my mind. 3 of those are Immelmans.
Oh my God, you're right.
3 of the 5 inversions are Immelmans.
Is that a world record? Most Immelmans on a single
on one
coaster?
roller coaster? I don't know.
Why didn't Jeffrey Siebert mention that?
How many are on Smiler? I thought that was interesting. I'm like, they couldn't have made one of them like a, I don't know, even a dive loop or something? Like, I don't know. No. More Immelmans. They should have made them all Immelmans.
Immelmans are fun.
Yeah. So obviously we have the vertical loop is the other one. And then there's also like a cutback, which looks pretty cool. I don't think we've had that on a dive coaster before. We've gotten pretty close with like overbanks. But this looks like, from the animation, a true inversion. I generally prefer the dive coasters that don't feel like one-trick ponies. The more elements and maneuvers they are able to incorporate into these things, the better, because then you have a more satisfying ride experience.
Yeah, and you know, like, as exciting as all of this is, very, very excited for the park, very excited for everyone in the area. I feel like we do have to address the elephant in the room, which is that not all B&Ms have been riding great over the last few years. We all know this at this point. It's not really huge news. That's not to say that they're like bad by any stretch of the imagination, but they're not, like, it's not gonna feel like you're riding Giga or Griffin.
Right,
which is worrisome when you're going that fast and it's that big.
Yeah, that is, because I mean, you know, comfort is extremely important, you know, and whenever anyone hops on Griffin or Giga, I mean, you're getting a glass smooth ride as you're reaching speeds over 70 miles per hour. So
compare that to like Rakshasa, a lot of people were complaining who were sitting in the back row.
Exactly. I mean, that one's hit or miss depending on where you sit. So I am a little worried about how this will be. I mean, the one thing that gives me a little bit of hope is that we did have a B&M open earlier this year that was riding pretty smooth, and that was Big Bad Wolf at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. So
what was it called?
The Wolf's Revenge.
Big Bad Wolf, the Wolf's Revenge. You gotta get the whole name.
So maybe things will be better. I am hopeful that they are, because you know, when a park is spending this much money, you know, you want them to get the best product possible and something that is going to you know, satisfy every guest that is making a trip, spending their money to go to Six Flags Over Texas to do this. You don't want to let anyone down, and so I'm hoping that this is riding the best it possibly can. But B&M has never done a dive coaster of this size before. You know, those trains they're wide.
I would like to think for something this big, they're gonna, you know, invest a little extra to make sure everything's perfect.
And we've had it now a couple years where this has been, you know, an issue. So the hope is that by now, when 2026 rolls around, they will have solved that. Presumably, you would think. I think the thing that I keep coming back to that I just find so interesting is that, like, the fact that the Six Flags chain keeps purchasing dive coasters from B&M means that I don't think that the rattle, whatever you want to call it, is bothersome to the people who are signing the checks. Because if it was bothersome, then why would they keep getting more?
That's true. I think you're probably right. And I think all of this, like, you know, regardless of any of that, like I said, this is a big deal for the park. It's actually their 65th anniversary in 2026, so it's nice timing, a nice little milestone year. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see, like, the details as far as how it rides, how the layout is, but just, like, looking at it from a glance, I think this is great. This is very, very exciting
They
stuff.
needed something like this. Yeah, so let us know down in the comments below, what do you think of Tormenta Rampaging Run coming to Six Flags Over Texas in 2026? We'll have a full layout analysis coming soon, so make sure to stay tuned for that if you want more Tormenta coverage. And of course, we'll be at the park next year to go out and experience it for ourselves.
And, you know, just because we're talking about Dallas and it's September, I just need to make sure that everybody knows that the best team in the NFC East is this one. Did you know I was wearing this underneath?
No.
Go Birds!